Hello everyone and welcome into the latest edition of Football Center with Goma. It's a pleasure to have you here with me as always, and it's the start of a new week. It's a Monday, which means we take a look at what went down over the weekend in terms of football. Now, this past weekend, just like any other weekend ever since the restart of football, was captivating, enthralling, and entertaining as always. In case you missed it, don't worry, because I'm going to be taking you through some of the highlights, some of the key moments that happened in the top European leagues and competitions over this past weekend. So, without further ado, let's jump straight into today's video and let's hope you have fun. So we'll start off in Germany, where this past weekend, the 2019-20 Bundesliga season reached its conclusion after yet another riveting season of German top-flight football. As per usual, and no-brainer really, Bayern Munich were crowned German champions yet again for an 8th consecutive time, and this time they had to do it in considerable fashion in my opinion. They had to turn things around quickly, otherwise it would have been a whole different story. There had to be change of management over the course of the season, with Nico Kovac being sacked and Hansi Flick coming in, who turned things around, reminded the players of just how good they are, who they were, and what they stood for as a club, as Bayern Munich. At the end of the day, they put in the hard work, jumped over every challenge and obstacle that was sent their way, and reached their heights, which was being champions of Germany once again. Now, what went down on the final day as the Bundesliga played its last piece of action for the 2019-20 season? Bayern Munich defeated Wolfsburg by 4 goals to nil, with Thomas Muller setting a new league record of assists, 21 assists in a single season, the most by any other player, breaking the former record set by Kevin De Bruyne, which was at 20. Robert Lewandowski scored his 34th goal of the season and won his 5th German Bundesliga Golden Boot. RB Leipzig's Timo Werner signed off with 2 goals and becoming the club's all-time leading goal scorer as he played his last game for RB Leipzig, and as he'll be heading over to Chelsea. He will not feature for them in the Champions League as his contract states, and that was his last time in the RB Leipzig shirt. Borussia Dortmund were defeated by Hoffenheim by 4 goals to nil, Kramaric scoring 4 goals and scoring a no-look penalty, a cheeky attempt, which one that I had to acknowledge. A pretty impressive one. You can go and look it up on YouTube. Then, Bayer Leverkusen failed to make it to the Champions League after Borussia Mönchengladbach won their game, and they filled 4th position, which means Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, RB Leipzig, and Borussia Mönchengladbach will be playing in the Champions League next season, with Bayer Leverkusen having to settle for the Europa League. Düsseldorf and Paderborn were relegated from the top tier of football. So that is what went down in the German Bundesliga this past weekend, but there's still one more game of German football to be played, the DFBL Super Cup, which will be played between Bayern Munich and Bayer Leverkusen this weekend, so you won't want to miss out on that one. Alright, so let's switch our attention to La Liga, where it is actually a 2-horse race between Real Madrid and FC Barcelona. And as we speak, Real Madrid are 2 points clear at the top of the table after FC Barcelona dropped points against Celta Vigo on Friday night, while Real Madrid went on to win their game against Espanyol, that 1 goal to nil on Sunday. Now let's talk about FC Barcelona here a little bit, because they look no different from the side that we saw before football was called to a halt. You'd have thought that this lockdown would have given the players the chance to rest up and for Quique Setien to come up with a clear strategy and plan going forward. But as we speak, FC Barcelona still look a disoriented team. They look disorganized and like a team that is just gambling out there. Quique Setien still doesn't know his best 11 and switches up his 11 week in, week out. And that's why I told you a couple of weeks ago that I back Real Madrid to go on and win the La Liga season, because Real Madrid have gained stability. There was a little bit of instability and disorganization after Ronaldo left, because managers didn't know, because they didn't know what strategy would actually fit this Real Madrid club. He came in and it was easy for him. Let me get a plan that suits Cristiano Ronaldo, and the post-Ronaldo era was kind of difficult, but right now he has found a game plan which actually works, and you find Real Madrid enjoying themselves, the players are enjoying themselves and are banging on form. Now, they have the stability, and stability is what you need. You need stability if you have any chance of actually going on to win a championship title. Barcelona don't have that at the moment, and it shows in the results, in the way they are playing. They don't know how, they don't know what works for them, what suits them. They have one of the best players of the generation, arguably the greatest player of all time in Lionel Messi, but he can only do so much. If he doesn't have a supporting cast, he's not gonna work as efficiently as you expect him to. And Real Madrid, they don't have a Lionel Messi caliber player, but they do have quality players. You have Eden Hazard, you have Karim Benzema, Sergio Ramos, Casemiro, Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, and all these are well oiled. They know how to play with each other, and they know their strengths, their weaknesses, and it's not like they're looking to one person to do all the magic. Each and every one of them can actually come up and win a game for you. They are playing as a team and not as a one-man team. So that is why I back Real Madrid to go on and win this La Liga title. But as we speak, Real Madrid are top of the La Liga table. FC Barcelona go up against Atletico Madrid next. A pretty tough fixture, and in case they lose that one, I have to say the league could be well and truly over with a loss for FC Barcelona. So they need to win that game if they don't have any chance of pushing Real Madrid all the way. So the FA Cup quarterfinals were in full force this past weekend, with Manchester United up against Norwich City, Chelsea taking on Leicester City, Arsenal up against Sheffield United, while Manchester City went up against Newcastle United. Now, Manchester United booked their place in the semi-final after a 2-1 victory over Norwich City. Sheffield United were defeated by Arsenal by 2-1. Leicester City were knocked out of the competition by Chelsea with a 1-0 scoreline, while Manchester City dispatched Newcastle by 2-0. Now, it will be a case of Manchester against London in the semi-finals, with Arsenal up against Manchester City and Chelsea taking on Manchester United. Now, both Manchester clubs have a 100% winning record against the London clubs this season, with Manchester United defeating Chelsea on 3 occasions, twice in the Premier League and once in the Carabao Cup, while Manchester City have scored 6 goals against Arsenal in 2 games this season in the Premier League and winning all 2 games. So it's going to be an interesting round of fixtures in the semi-final, an interesting and riveting round with big clubs against each other. And with Liverpool having won the Premier League trophy, this is the only other trophy up for grabs in England at the moment. Manchester City too, the Carabao Cup after defeating Aston Villa. Now, Manchester City and Liverpool, the top 2 teams in the land at the moment, have at least picked up some sort of silverware in England, and this will be an opportunity for the other clubs to try and stop Manchester City from picking up 2 trophies. Manchester United will have added motivation after watching 2 of their fiercest rivals pick up silverware this season, Liverpool and Manchester City. So they'll want to join in this in the trophy party. So it's going to be an interesting one. Manchester United is going to be a killer one, but they go up against a tough Chelsea side who have hit form at just the right moment. They'll want revenge for defeating them for having lost 3 times to Manchester United this season. Now, in the Premier League, Watford went up against Southampton, with Aston Villa up against Wolves. Wolves defeated Aston Villa by 1-0 and leapfrogging Manchester United to 5th position, 3 points above them, and Manchester United do have a game in hand and will be in action on Tuesday. Southampton defeated Watford by 3-1. Danny Ings on the score sheet, scoring twice, and is now within 1 goal shy of Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy has 19 goals to his name. Danny Ings in second with 18 goals rather. Jamie Vardy has 19 goals and Danny Ings has 18 goals to his name. So it is a tough and hard race for the Premier League Golden Boot. It will be interesting to see who picks it up. And finally, Juventus lead the way in the Serie A, 4 points clear of second place Lazio, while Inter Milan are 8 points behind the league leaders Juventus on 61 points. Juventus, Lazio and Inter Milan all recorded victories this past weekend. Juventus defeating Lecce by 4-0. Ronaldo on the score sheet and setting up 2 goals. Lazio had to come from behind to defeat Fiorentina by 2-1. Charlo Immobile back on the score sheet, while Inter Milan also had to dig deep and come from behind to defeat Parma by 2-1. It's an interesting title race in the Serie A and Italy. Juventus just look like they're going to edge their competitors to the Serie A title. They're starting to hit from at the right time, but it's still going to be interesting. We still have a long way to go. Lazio can still come up with a rabbit in the hat sort of magic trick, and maybe so can Inter Milan. However, it is not done and dusted just yet in the Serie A. Cristiano Ronaldo will be hoping to regain the sort of form that he had before the season came to a halt and lead Juventus to a 9th consecutive Serie A title. So things are tight in the Serie A and it's getting pretty interesting as we speak. So there are games every other day, and there are plenty of games to look forward to on your television screens this week. We have Manchester City up against Liverpool in the Premier League. City players possibly forming a guard of honor for the current Premier League champions. If I was a Manchester City player, I don't know how I'd be feeling about that. We have Atletico Madrid up against Barcelona, a crucial game for the Catalonian club. A loss for them could spell consequences beyond their limits and give Real Madrid the opportunity to run away with it as both clubs fight for the La Liga title. So with that, I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.